Thanks for coming today. My name is Laura Alderson. I'm the president of the Mount Carmel Lions Club. We have been in existence since 1944, and we want to thank all our players, parents, people who helped in any way to make this banquet happen. As of the Lions Club, we reached out all across to get businesses and people to donate to help with this. We would like to thank them. We're going to stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, for liberty and justice for all. Thank you. I must apologize, Reverend Michael Huskusko was unable to make it here today, so I am going to be doing the invocation. It says, Almighty and loving Father, we call upon your name and invite you to be with us today with your invisible presence. Shower upon us the fullness of grace. Strengthen our hearts and minds that we may see you face amidst all the challenges of daily life. Call forth from us a desire to love and serve you in all places and times. We call upon you, your name, and invite you to bless our ceremonies today as we honor those athletes who have used the talent and ability you have given them to excel in both classroom and on the field. We call upon your name and invite you to extend your blessings upon the members of the faculty, the coaches, and the support staff, parents, and family members who all gathered here for this afternoon. Help us to see your path. Help us to grow closer to you. Give us the mind and heart to overcome obstacles before us. With your presence and guidance, all things being possible. Finally, we ask you to bless the food, drink, and conversation of your children gathered here. Allow it to nourish our minds, body, and spirit. Amen.
Thank you, Laura. I appreciate that very much. Let me say welcome again to this 106th banquet honoring Mount Carmel area football. This thing's been going on since 1920. If you can even imagine that. And I don't know if you read your little book, I try to keep all of our history printed it so that it stays available. But if you notice, the second speaker ever at our banquet, one of these banquets, was John Heisman. That's correct. That's Mr. Heisman from the Heisman Trophy. And if you look, there's a number of people on there which are really impressive. And I think it's worth a look to see where we were as a program. But once again, I just want to say thank you to the Lions for taking up the call here when the Rotary ended up folding. And they've done an outstanding job. I know Kevin Jones was a spearhead, but they had a lot of guys that were really helpful. So what I would appreciate is support the Lions Club. Support them because they're the ones that are going to continue with this banquet. And we can't afford them to go the way of the Rotary Club or any of these other clubs that are going by the wayside here. But the Lions have done a great job. So thank you so much for what you do. I'm not going to be long because I think we have a lot of folks here tonight. There's going to be a lot of awards given. And I try to stress to the presenters to keep it light so that we can keep moving. We want to hear from the kids, not from us. But we'll see how we do with that. But the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to introduce Coach Dara to come up here and introduce his players and his staff and see where we go. This is John, just completed his 10th year here at Mount Carmel. 80 wins, 38 losses over that course of time. In the playoffs every year but one. I said, I think that says a lot about the kind of job that he's done and the kind of job you guys have athletes have worked with him to accomplish. I think I counted roughly 30 kids have gone on to play college football. And this year with Noah marks the third Division I player that he's had over the years when you count Manus McCracken, Matt Chicatano, and now Noah. So we're doing the right things, and I'm excited about next year. I know we're not trying to forget this year, but I'm excited about next year. We have a great opportunity to take this program one more step ahead. So John has been a great guy here. He works at this 24 hours a day. I don't think we can ask more of a coach than to do what he's done for his players. And I think that he's excited about the future, and I'm excited to have him come up and introduce his players right now. John Darrow.
Thank you, Jose. Just a few thank yous I want to go through here before I introduce this year's team. Really just like to start with my immediate family, my wife Rachel, my children Jack and Josie, the rest of my family who's really heavily involved in the program as well, my mother, my father, my sister Kelly, brother-in-law Aaron, and everyone in our booster association, our assistant coaches put in tons of hours during the season and the off season. Majority of them are here today. Jordan Marlowe, Dane Tarantelli, Bob Veach, Mike Gilger, Mike Higgins, Brent Rung, Rob Verano, Bill Juraski, Maddox Reed, and Nick Troutman. Our junior high coaches just finished an undefeated season this year on a junior high level. Marshall Mararki, Brian Christiana, Tim Wargo, and Shane Widener. Our strength coordinator, Josh Kalia. Equipment managers, Alan Klinger, Eric Schlegel, Tom and Lori Swaldy, everyone else at Star, including Caden Hine and Ella O'Neill, who helped out at some of our games this year. Doc Greco, Jose, Mr. Cheddar, the school board, and the Mount Carmel administration. All our athletic directors that are involved, Ms. Niglio, Mr. Sikavich, Coach Gilger, Mr. Climbara, Mr. Steller in our band, Ms. Niglio and our cheerleaders, Mr. Sakaitis, Mr. Trefsker, and the TV studio. All the priests in town that put on Mass for us every Friday, especially Father Mike and Father Stommer, Frank Brosh, our field maintenance, and everyone else who makes game day possible, chain crew, press box, concession stand volunteers, Matucci's, the Knights, and the Supper Club, and finally the Lions Club and Kevin Jones and the committee. So thank all you guys for everything you do for the program. At this time, I'm going to introduce our players by class. If you'd like to just hold your applause until I'm finished with each class. We're going to start with our seniors. This was a large senior class. I believe it was the largest senior class since I've been coaching here, and I really can't say enough about these kids. Great kids. Do anything for the program. Very, very smart kids, very talented. And I'm sure they're all going to have very, very bright futures. So I'm very proud of you guys. Please stand when I call your name. Landon Adams, Tate Adams, Al Bailey, Chase Belichick, Matt Belichick, Luke Blessing, Jagger Delaney, Gavin Demko, Aiden Dietz, Andrew Lukuski, Ben Miller, John Morgani, Robert Shoppy, and Noah Shimko, 2024 senior class. Our junior class, Logan Herb, Michael Kimsel, Jabari Kynes, Gavin Marshalik, Ezekiel Noel, Dylan Poe, Elijah Rempel, Jerry Shiganuski, and Seth Spears, our junior class. Sophomores, Josh Blessing, Ryan Bush, Keegan Brown, Jalen Delaney, Cooper Karicki, Max Karicki, Azaziel Lilly, Josh Miller, and Logan Shooter. And finally, our freshman class. Jackson Boblik, Braden Bagashinsky, Dakota Becker, Aiden Brokenshire, Jason Dillo, Eddie Dye, Jason Clokus, Jalen Lilly, Josiah Reno, John Rhodes, Chance Swatsky, and Skylar Zwizik. Your 2024 team. At this time, I'd like to turn over to Coach Niglio.
Thank you, Coach Dara. I would like to start out by thanking the Lions Club for hosting this annual banquet and inviting us each year. I would also like to thank the Mount Carmel Area School District, School Board, Administration, Athletic Department, Student Body, Coach Dara and his coaching staff, football players, Mr. Stellar and the Big Red Band, Mr. Sakaitis, Mr. Trefsker and the TV studio members, all those involved in Supper Club, our athletic trainer Tom Swaldy and his staff, our strength and conditioning coach Josh Clea, and lastly, our cheerleading families, alumni, and fans for their continued support for our cheerleaders. This year, our cheerleading program had close to 80 individuals try out in hopes of becoming an MCA cheerleader. Out of those 80 candidates, we were able to, again, for the 6th year in a row, form 3 full squads of varsity, junior varsity, and junior high sideline cheerleading members, and 2 full teams of varsity and junior high competition teams to watch as our program continues to grow. 5 years ago, we took a leap of faith, being able to take our program to new heights and officially becoming a sport at Mount Carmel area, making history as the first competitive cheerleading team. When I think back to that day, we only had little experience and no actual standard mats at the moment, but what we did have were girls who were willing to start from the bottom and build something special. From the sidelines on Friday nights to the competition mat, with positive attitudes, these girls were able to make this year a true memorable year, upholding long-standing traditions and fulfilling the duties that come along with being an MCA cheerleader. It is not every day or at every school district that there is a pep rally almost every Friday, parades down 3rd Street before each home game, or selling spirit pins to students for a quarter during first period. But those are the things that make Mount Carmel area special. These girls have found a love in showcasing pride within our school district every single year, and it truly showed in all that they did. In year number 5 of the competitive cheerleading world, 22 of these girls entered the mat and continued to be the building blocks for our program, advancing to the state competition for the 4th year in a row, and making school history by advancing to day 2 of that competition, which was a goal they set back in June. Without this sport, some of these girls may not have the opportunity to experience what sports have to offer, and for that, we are grateful. The girls that I am about to recognize have come a very long way from the beginning of our season back in June. Some have stepped out of their comfort zones, others have advanced their skills, and all of them are sure to put a smile on my face each day that we are together. I think the thing that stands out the most to me is their love and respect for this sport and our program, their trust in themselves, their teammates, and their coaches, and the willingness they have to fight for one another. The display of sportsmanship and teamwork that I have witnessed throughout the last few months is in what my eyes will always set them above the rest. Above all else, they were a team, constantly motivating each other, pushing each other to advance their skills, taking on new challenges, and were truly all in all the time. They are not only cheerleaders, but multi-sport athletes, college students, part-time employees, and so much more. It truly speaks volume to me on what they continue to accomplish, even with all they have on their plate. They hold a very strong purpose, and they have proved that within the last few years at MCA. I am beyond fortunate and honored to be able to coach this group of young ladies, as I have loved every second that I've got to spend with them. To our seniors, this group will always be very, very special to me for many, many reasons. We will always be thankful for the leadership, dedication, and effort that you have shown throughout your years as an MCA cheerleader. Never forget where you came from, but always look forward to where you are headed. MCA Cheer will continue to be your family no matter where life may take you. Your 2024-2025 Mount Carmel area varsity cheerleading team members are as follows. As I call your name, please stand up and be recognized. Sophomores, Callie McGee, Mackenzie Lubinsky, Brooke Shoppy, and Octavia Templin. Juniors, Sarah Williams, Mallory Forty, Mia Hollenbush, Neve Catalinas, Addison Kimsel, and Rylan Ritzman. Seniors, Alexa Maher, Abby Clokus, Jessa Robert, Kayla Leonard, Emily Morris, Ava Carnuccio, and Francesca Ventilli. Thank you to our assistant coaches, Brooke Heim and Hannah Monger, for their time and dedication to our program each year. It truly takes a village, and I am lucky enough for them to be standing by my side through each milestone our program takes. And lastly, a very special thank you to the parents of our cheerleaders. Thank you for raising your daughters to be kind, smart, and cooperative individuals who are just beginning to make a difference in this world. It is a true testament to you and how you have raised them over the years. Thank you for trusting me with them each year. I am always so proud to coach them, and I hope they know just how much they mean to me. Thank you.
Thank you, Cassandra. You guys have to appreciate what you have here. I know we do it at MCA. She has taken over the athletic director's job, and I don't know how she does all of the things that she does and does them to the best of her ability, and that's way above what anybody else would do. So thank you, Cassandra, for being who you are. At this time, we're going to have join you. You read in the Lions book all those speakers that we talked about before. Well, about 10 or 15 years ago, we realized that we couldn't get these Division I coaches and other people that were around because of agents and money and costs and fees and whatever. So we decided to bring Mount Carmel area greats back to the banquet. It was the best, one of the best things we've ever done. They have sat where you sat. They understand exactly what you're going through. They understand exactly what you did for your sport because they've done it themselves. And this year, we're so fortunate in having Coach Verano back to speak to you about football and about life. You can read on the back of the Lions portion of the program some of the things that he's accomplished, and it's truly amazing. But one of the highlights to me is that he was the first sophomore ever to win a Terry Award back in 1982. He was the back at that time. 2 years later, he won it again as a lineman as he switched to defensive end and became a star player for Coach Diminick. He took his talent to Lehigh, where he at first, sorry, Rob, but I remember standing on a sideline at a Pottsville game with you and Lisa, and you were home for a weekend, and I said, well, how's it going? He said, they were talking to me about being a tight end, and they don't think I'm big enough and whatever, I'm going to do this. And all he did was go to work. He got himself faster, and he obviously could catch from way back, but he became one of the greatest receivers in Lehigh history at the time. He was named to 3 different All-America squads. He actually spent time in the Cincinnati Bengals camp. So as far as accomplishment goes, he's up there with the best. But what I think best about Rob Verano, he's one of the best humans you're ever going to be around. He's just a great person. He's calm. He's collected. He'll do whatever he can to help you. All you need to do is ask. And you guys are so fortunate to have him as a role model. I hope you realize that, because this is one of the best. This is one of MCA's finest. And we're so lucky to have him today to say a few words to you. So right now, Rob Verano.
Jose, I just said it, thank you, but, very kind words, and I truly appreciate it. And I know a lot of you guys are going to get up here and you're going to thank Jose, because we know how much he does for this program, and it's been unbelievable. And he's been doing it since I was in high school and probably before that. He's been so good to me, he's been so good to my wife, Lisa, and to my kids. So, Jose, thank you. Just a couple other quick thank yous as I get started here. I'd like to echo what Cassandra just said and thank the parents, okay? You guys have done a great job raising these kids, and it's so much fun to be around them, and it really is a joy. So you've done a great job. Thank you. I'd also like to thank Coach Darren. He gave me the opportunity to coach here. I've coached with Coach Darren, 4 other head coaches. I've been here doing this at Mount Carmel for 30 years, I guess, as a coach. And I don't take it for granted, the opportunities I was given. And finally, I want to thank my family. My kids are busy. They got things going on all over the place. And I told them not to come. Well, they're all here today. So I do appreciate that. And I love you guys. So thank you for that. You know, it's an honor to be here and to speak to all of you. And this program has been unbelievable. You know, this year we won our 900th game in school history. And I really don't want you to ever take that statistic for granted. Okay, we have it up on the scoreboard, but it's really an unbelievable accomplishment that you're a part of. Okay, I was a part of back 30-some years ago, 40-some years ago. The winning tradition that we have here at Mount Carmel is unbelievable. Okay, and I want to, you know, Coach Dara put in a tradition, and this is a tradition that I really don't like. Okay, so Coach Dara, you know, I told you a little bit about it before, so I'll tell you a quick story. So before the season, every year, before double sessions, during practice, before that practice, we have a team meeting, and Coach Dara wants a player to stand up and say why he wants to play football at Mount Carmel. And he asks a coach to stand up and say why they want to coach at Mount Carmel. So it does this every year, goes through everybody fine. And by the second week, the coaches go pretty quick because there's not that many of us, and it's kind of coming to my turn to do it. And I kind of run and hide. All right. Coach Dara's looking for me, and he's like, Coach Brown, are you going to talk today? And I literally go hide. And it became a joke. The other coaches would bust on me about it, and because I don't like getting up in front of people and talk. Okay. And so this year, I figured I was safe. He stopped asking me, and I figured, okay, next year we'll be okay. And it was kind of strange because they're usually on me pretty good, but they forgot about it. Next thing you know, though, they tell me I'm the speaker at the football banquet. So he got me. But seriously, I never did take my turn telling you guys why I coach, okay? And that's probably bad. So I'm going to just take a couple minutes. I'll try and be quick and tell you guys why I coach. And the short answer to that is I coach because of you guys, all of you guys, all right? That's the reason really I want to do it. But I want to give you just a couple quick stories to kind of illustrate that. And the one I want to give you is not a football story, okay? It's a story from the Olympics, way back 1968. It has to do with a marathon runner. And I heard this story, and it kind of really struck me. And as it goes, the Olympics were at Mexico City. It was a Summer Olympics. Marathon was the race. And I guess Mexico City must be like Denver, Colorado. It must be high elevation. Denver, the Broncos play in Mile High Stadium. It's I guess you can't breathe the air that well. I don't know. So Mexico City must have been like this. And I guess if you're a marathon runner and you can't breathe real well, that's a problem. So this particular race, there were 75 guys starting out in the race. They all take off, and they started cramping. So I guess that's the problem. If you're high elevation, you can't breathe, your body cramps up during the race. And there were 75 guys that started that race, and 18 of them dropped out because they were cramping up all over the place. I think of North Schuylkill a couple of years ago when I didn't even know if we were going to have enough guys to finish the game. We were cramping up all over. So picture that, guys dropping out. And there's this one runner from Africa, African nation, and he's having the same problem. He's chugging along, and he's about 6-7 miles into this 26-mile race, and he can barely keep going. And what gets worse, he stumbles, falls, and he kind of face plants, okay, out there in the middle of the race, out in the middle of the street. He cuts his face, cuts his leg. He's bleeding. He kind of, I think they said he dislocated his kneecap, all right? So he's got to go to the medical tent. They're treating this guy. Meanwhile, everybody else keeps running. They finish the race. They give out the medals, gold, silver, have the ceremony. Everybody's done. And this guy gets back up, all bandaged up, and starts running again, okay? Still has probably close to 20 miles to run, and he's got to be dying at this point with pain, everything else. So he gets there, he gets to the stadium, and I saw a video when I heard this story. I saw a video. He was coming down the tunnel. It looked like the U.S. Coliseum, if you think of that place. So he's coming down there. An hour earlier, there's 100,000 people cheering this guy running, or the other guys running, and by now, maybe there's 1,000, 2,000 people left in there. But here he comes. He gets out in that track. He's got to run that final lap of 400 to finish the race. People are going that were there were going crazy, cheering for him, and he finishes the race. Okay. So a reporter asked him after he ran this race. He said, John, his name was John Aquari, and he said, John, what were you doing? You had to be in agony running this race, and you kept going. You finished in last place. Okay, he was last, and what he said it sticks with me. And what he said was, my country didn't send me 5,000 miles to start this race. My country sent me 5,000 miles to finish this race. And that's what I was going to do. And when I heard that, it kind of made me think of this program, okay? That's kind of the way we are here at Mount Carmel, all right? We have lots of things that come up that are adversarial, that are problems, and situations that aren't good. I think of this past season, I think of Luke, okay, wherever you are. You finish the race, okay? There's a kid coming into his senior season off a great junior year. We think he's going to, set all kind of rushing records. And in the second quarter of the first game, suffers a serious knee injury. And did he quit? No, he didn't quit. He rehabbed, he got himself better, and he had some setbacks, okay? It wasn't really easy for him. But he finished the race. I think of Cole Spears a couple years ago, okay? Kid rips his ACL. He kept playing, okay? Cole finished. I think of situations that we ran in as a team this year, okay, where that kind of determination, that type of courage, that kind of willpower was displayed from our football team this year. I think of Southern, okay? We won that game 7-6. How many times was Southern inside our 10-yard line? I think it was 3 or 4 times. They were down there ready to score. I got to tell you guys, I kind of was worried. I mean, I have faith in you guys, but I'm thinking we're losing this game. More than one time I thought that, okay? They were down there. You guys never gave up. You guys kept fighting. I remember a 4th down play. I think it was Max. Big sack on a 4th down. They were going in for a score. Makes the play. We had to run the clock out. Gavin hits Jalen on a pass. Jalen makes a really nice move, gains 20, 30 yards, and we get the first down. We played out, okay? Our backs were against the wall, but you guys didn't quit. You finished that game. I think of Mifflinburg, okay? There's a game that you guys left kind of almost slip away, okay? We almost blew that one. But it was getting down near the end of the game. We're still losing. We didn't panic. We stuck together. We got a nice drive together, and we made a big special teams play. Noah, good snap. Tate put it down. Bobby makes a big pressure kick, and we win the game. So those are the kind of things that, make me proud, okay? You ask me why I coach. Those are the things that make me proud of this football program, by seeing you guys do that all the time, okay? And there's probably a ton of other other examples out there. 2 quick ones from when I started coaching 30 years ago, all right? Coach Higgins, 1994, scored the winning touchdown in the state championship game. When you guys think of, if you can figure out what would be the best script that you could ever write to end your high school career, scoring the winning touchdown in the state championship game in double overtime for a walk-off win. Coach Higgins did that, okay? Coach Higgins, did you really throw 3 interceptions in that game? Really? Where are you? Are you here, Coach Higgins? Did you really have 3 interceptions? Well, I was thinking you're lucky you scored the touchdown, that's all. But seriously, what you don't maybe remember in that game is, what you probably don't remember in that game, a lot of people, is though, a couple plays before that, Forest Hills was on the 1-yard line, 4th and goal to score the touchdown to go ahead in that state championship game. And we held them. Our backs were against the wall, and we held them. Even more impressive, and Coach Dara, I think you were on this team in 2000 when Jonathan Veach, and I think this was on the scoreboard before the season when you guys, in the highlight film, okay? The 92-yard touchdown run by Johnny Veach, our announcers were going crazy, okay? As he busted 92 yards for the winning touchdown. That was the state semifinal game that year, okay? That put us going to states. And that was unbelievable play. But what happened 3 plays before that, okay? Lakeland, we were winning 7-6. Lakeland was on literally had a 4th down on the 6-inch line. You could not get any closer to the goal line and not score than Lakeland was, okay? They had a big quarterback. He was an all-state quarterback at quarterback. And they ran their rendition of the tush push, and we stuffed them. Unbelievable. It's the only time I can remember, this game was in Shamokin. We were the home team at Shamokin. I was up in the press box, and I just remember that 4th down play. I had my head down in between my knees, and I'm thinking, I was ready to throw up because I'm thinking, we lost this game. I can't believe our season's going to end, and we held them there, okay? So those are the kind of things those are the kind of moments in our history of my coaching and this year of seeing what you guys can do, all right? And you guys should be proud of yourselves in what you can accomplish. And I guess, what I want to leave you with, and I had all these notes up here, I didn't look at any of them, but what the thing I want to leave with you for this team this year is we had some tough losses this year, okay? We had some tough losses. I saw it in your eyes. I saw it in your tears after the games. I know how bad you just wanted to win some of these games this year, and we didn't win. And probably, if we're honest with ourselves, we probably didn't accomplish all the goals that we wanted to from back at the beginning of the year, okay? But you guys never quit. You guys worked through a lot of adversity, injuries, other stuff, and you guys kept battling, and nothing more that as football coaches that we could ever ask for you guys to do. So what I'll leave you with here is, think of that runner, that marathon runner, okay? Think about that. You guys finished the race this year. Just finishing the race doesn't mean you're going to always win, because that guy came in last place, so it doesn't always mean you're going to win. But you guys, in my mind, finished the race. And, there's going to be a lot more races, okay, that you're going to start in life. Next year's team, you guys coming back next year, have another race. You guys got to come back, and we got to do better next year, okay? So you're going to start that race. You seniors, you guys are going to college, you're going to play football, going to go work. You're going to have another race to start, okay? So what I'm just asking you to do, no matter what situation you're in, okay, is always just finish the race, okay? And if you guys finish the race, you guys are going to be successful no matter what you do. Thanks so much.
Thank you, Robert. That was the most entertaining speech I think we've had for a long time. And if I may, and in no way, this goes along with what Bobby talked about finishing. And in no way do I mean to embarrass anybody, but Mike Higgins, Mike finished the race that year and set us up for a future of greatness. That most of you don't know, he has the most yards lost in the history of Mount Carmel Area High School. He's probably minus 400 yards rushing, but you know what? He didn't quit. He would probably be the last guy we would have chose to run that 7 yards, but he did it. He chose to do it because it wasn't called, but he did it. And Michael, thank you for that, because I think we are what we are because of what you did that day. And again, thank you, Robbie. Most entertaining. Thank you. At this point, we're going to get to the awards portion of the program, but we're going to start with the Lions, since it is their banquet. And we will start with Bob Lipinski, who will present the Mike Terry Awards. Bob has been doing this unselfishly for 57 or 58 years. He's been a chairman of the Terry Committee. He's given it of himself, and believe me, he does it diligently. He was at my house yesterday for about an hour preparing. Like, he just doesn't come up here willy-nilly, but Bob's done a great job with this award, and I'm proud to turn this over to him to present the Mike Terry Awards for 2024. Bob Lipinski.
First of all, I want to tell you guys
Bob, you gotta keep it close
that I have nothing to thank you for. I don't have to thank anybody. So stick that in your ear and keep it there. Although, I think I'll thank myself for quit drinking 45 years ago to get me to here. Otherwise, I'd be on Dorco's wall with a trophy. Okay, all right. Hello, everybody.
Hello, Bob.
I can remember 57 years ago when I got shanghaied into this gig that the time would come to hold the Mike Terry Awards. When the time would come up then, my wife would say, Bob, the Terry Awards are this weekend. Oh, okay. So I reach in, this mini closet that she allowed me to have, grab the only suit I had, get ready, go up to Greeks, get the trophies, come to the award ceremony and wing it. Well, that was then. No notes, no thoughts, just get up and wing it. Haha, that was then. This is now. Now we need notes. We need lots of notes. The most important one is the last one, which reads, and I quote, ask for help to find out my truck keys and then drive to 755 Pine Street, Carmel, PA, 17834, parentheses, my home. Huh? Anyone can help me find the keys, and my up the alley neighbors, Ray Bresci, or up the street, Steve Matsura, can help me find my house. So I'm curious to see how that's all going to turn out later on. The suit situation now is a lot easier because I only have one suit. It's the only one that fits because of closet shrinkage. So I have the same suit, the same shirt, and the same tie. I could tell that because this is the 4th year of the Lions being involved here. Here is last year's pasta. Here is 2022's chicken. And here is 2021's beef. I'm going to move the chicken over to be able to put the hamburger from this year on the tie. So next year, same tie, only one that fits. In the heartfelt words of Compton's longtime former mayor, Bambi Muriello, he would say in this case, welcome you guys to this Ozy. And they actually meant welcome to this award ceremony in this fire company. And that was his way. That was Coleridge talk in Compton, fine and dandy. So we're here at the Brady Fire Company.
Close, Bob.
Everyone has had 2 well-prepared booklets pertaining to the Mount Carmel area football, courtesy of the lifelong efforts of you-know-who next to who-know-who. Please take them with you, and they will give you many hours of interesting reading in that little room on the side where you sit and read. But also remember, overlooking from a higher place are the eyes of Phil Gergen, who was our longtime sports information director, who had us hooked up to Roger Saylor nationally and a national committee of researchers to verify the validity of all those wins up on that board. You just can't say, I won this game, I won that game, I won this game. Back in the 1800s, they would have the freshman class play the senior class, and some high schools would consider that a game. Or the high school team would play a team for a local bar room. No good. All our games are verified and by records from microfinch, newspapers, radio, and Phil Gergen was able to do that because he was connected to the rest of the world. We don't have too many places in this state that have a man who was able to dedicate a life to that. For our first-time guests this year, we always have some. A background repeat of the history of the Mike Terry Awards has to be said. Those of you who have heard it many times, listen to it again. After the game against Shamokin, at Shamokin, in 1961, Mike Terry got on the bus and suffered a fatal heart attack right there and then. Starting in 1962, the Lions decided to award a trophy, a single trophy in his honor. It didn't take them long to realize that there should be other contributing players to a win, and it then became an award for a back, an award for a lineman, where it remains today. Looking back, I see that was very astute of them, because it only takes two players to win a game. Only two, quarterback and a center. The rest of the players are inconsequential. They don't do nothing. The center gets the ball. The referee gives the center the ball. The center gives it to the quarterback runs over that line, and then you win the game. So the Lions Club then were smart enough to make two awards, which we still have, the lineman and the back. After I was blackmailed into this job, I took it over in 1968. Bobby Veach, the father, was my first award winner, and since then, I always kept an odd number of odd personalities on the Terry Awards committee to make sure there was never a tie. If there was a tie, then number one Pollock would pick the winner. We never had to worry about that. So we rolled on and we rolled on, and we're up to here now. It came a time when we first started, we used to have a runner run down to the field and quickly talk to Jazz and Rona, who was a good player, good players. And quickly they would come up two names and they'd be the winners. No good. So then we just started a committee to start looking at it a little more analytically, which we went to 7 to 5 to. Now we don't even really meet, because with virtual reality and everybody has a smartphone, and they can look at the game and they can find out who's doing what and who's doing where. And we have we have our television station. So we could get it on a Wednesday, we could review it over and over and over until we get it right. And you can replay it, actually. So the ease of picking the players has become a lot easier. We don't even watch the game anymore. Usually the winners are so dominant in the game that by Saturday morning, the day after the game, by a conference phone call, we have the two men picked. That's the end of it. But if ever it becomes necessary, we still have the TV station to back up and watch the game very, very carefully. There is in the booklets, the winners. Here's the trophy. Here's the plaque. Before you go, you can look at the sequence, and we just got it redone and fixed up. This year's winners, something happens different every year. This year, the two winners were both from the defensive side of the game. Apparently, the offensive side of the game, wasn't quite there. So we still had to pick two players. So we did. For some reason, my across the street neighbor, Jonathan Morganti, isn't here today. And after I leave here, I'm going across the street and I'm going to talk to Jonathan Morganti. The other player is Max Karicki, who won the award for the lineman. I have all kind of the point remains is only a sophomore, football family, knows what the game's all about, well coached, goes to practice learns what to do. So we're happy to have a continual influx field of coaches and players, players and coaches to keep this going for 106 years. We are going to keep working at it, I guess, until we run out of lions and pussycats and parrots and everybody else. But as of now, we're in good shape. I'm going to get this to me sometime. Take it back and get a good one. Oh, I'm sorry.
First things first, I'd like to thank the Lions. It's truly an honor to be a recipient of an award that has so many names from Mount Carmel that are just legends here in our football history. I want to thank my mom, my dad, my granddie, my granddad, my pap and gran for being here. They're my biggest fans, and I couldn't ask for anything more. I want to thank my teammates. Everyone's awesome. Everyone's like my brothers to me. I can text them for anything any day of the week, and they'd always help me. The cheerleaders. Great jobs on the sideline, keeping the crowd hyped up. The band, it's like the theme of the Friday Night Football. Just great. I want to thank Star, Tom Swally. He has a great thing going on up there. Coach Kalia in the weight room with us every day in this off season. And yeah, that's basically it. Thank you.
See you next year.
Thank you, Robert. Another entertaining portion of the program. All right, we'll continue with the awards, but we'll continue right now with the All-State Awards, awards that everybody knows who's going to get them. I've taken over the sponsorship of these awards in 2017 because the Rotary had no more money, and I thought I'd do it because it was, maybe one or two players. The last 2 years, we've had 6 and 5, so I've had to take out a little bit of a loan, but we're good. We're all good. The first one will be Noah Shimko. Noah is only the fourth three-time All-State player in Mount Carmel history, joining Jay Malikuski, John Veach, and Drew Litkavich. He led this offense, now you got to think about this, to 11 miles worth of offense, 19,000 yards over his 4 years, and they've averaged over 4,900 yards a year while he was at the point of attack, setting new records in 2022 with 554 points, 42.6 points per game, and then established another record in 2023 with 4,347 yards per game. He's become only the 15th player at Mount Carmel area to be named to the Dream Team, but he's only the first one to be named twice. So this year, Noah, for your outstanding efforts and selection as a first-team Pennsylvania Football News Coaches Select, first-team Pennsylvania Football News Sports Writers, offensive lineman, dated this date, February 2nd, 2024, Noah Shimko. Congratulations, young man. There you go. It's right there.
First and foremost, I'd like to thank God, of course, and then I'd like to thank my family, my mom and my dad for being here today. The rest of my family that's always at our games supporting me. All my friends on the team they know where my family is, always loud and proud. I'd like to thank my teammates for always pushing me the best I could be, and my coaches. I'd like to thank the cheerleaders for cheering us on the sidelines. I'd like to thank the Lions Club for hosting this every year. I'd like to thank Supper Club for everything that they do for us weekly. Yeah, that's about it. Thank you very much.
Okay, our second award is for Matt Belichick. Matt's a two-time All-State linebacker And this year, he established a new Mount Carmel area record with 17 quarterback hurries. And he, along with his brother Chase, became the first set of brothers since Bob and Brett Veach in 1993 to score touchdowns in the same game, and that was against Central. What I really liked about him is his versatility and his unselfishness in being able to play the quarterback position as a backup and an emergency, and doing a great job at that. But Matthew, for your outstanding efforts in selection, second team Pennsylvania Football News Coaches Select Defensive Athlete, February 2nd, 2024, Matthew Belichick. Congratulations, man.
First off, I want to thank my parents for always being at the games and pushing me to be a better person. I want to thank all the coaches for always pushing us at practice. I want to thank the cheerleaders for cheering on Friday nights. I want to thank Tom for all the rehab. Anytime you have a nick or injury, he's always there. I want to thank Coach Kalia for always pushing us in the weight room. And that's about it. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. All right, next guy is also a repeat selection, Max Karicki. Max last year was the first freshman to be named an All-State in our history, which you think about that, that's a pretty neat accomplishment. And this year I was a little concerned because his production actually went down tackle-wise, but he's still a third tackle leader on a team, but it was because of a change of position. He ended up being a nose guard, and you're not even supposed to make that many tackles as a nose guard. But they recognized him, and I think, Max, you have an opportunity to really establish another first at Mount Carmel by being the first four-time athlete to be named All-State, but that's all going to be up to you. You do the work, you put in the time, and you'll be that. And for your outstanding efforts and selection, first team Pennsylvania Football News Coaches Select Nose Guard, February 2nd, 2024, Max Karicki. Congratulations, man.
Thank you. Thank you, Jose. This year, when I realized that I went All-State, I have a similar story as last year with Al, but this year it was Noah. So this year again, I stayed home from school because I was sick, and I keep getting phone call after phone call after phone call, and I finally answer, and it's Noah. I'm like, Noah, what do you want, dude? He's like, congrats. And I'm like, for what? He's like, you made coaches All-State. I kind of got a little teary in my eyes. I didn't think I was gonna actually make it this year because the Riders came out and I didn't go for it. But I made first team and I was just very proud of myself. And yeah, so thank you, Jose, and thank you.
Okay, now we have a newcomer to this list. That's Chase Belichick. Chase really had the pressure on him, and I'll put this in a certain way. If you guys have been in the weight room and see the All-State wall up there, he was the last cousin, Allie and Robert and Nicole and Garrett and his brother Matt, and he's not there, you know, and brother Mike. Brother Mike's up there also. So he would have been the only one not there. And the last All-State team to come out was the Pennsylvania Football News Coaches Select. But Chase was able to handle that, and he got himself up there, and I'm sure that bragging rights didn't go to brother Matt. They stay equal. He and his brother Matt are the first set of brothers since the Sinkovich brothers, not first set, only set of brothers ever to be named All-State in the same year. Steve and Mike Sinkovich did it back in 1998. Chase has 57 receptions, ranked in the top 15 all-time at Mount Carmel area, while his 10 interceptions in his career are just one shy of the top 10 list. And he probably had that and was probably called back someplace along the line. Somebody's fault he can blame. But anyway, Chase Belichick, outstanding effort and selection. The second team Pennsylvania Football News Coaches Select as a tight end, February 2nd, 2024. Congratulations, Chase Belichick.
Congratulations, John.
Thank you. I just want to first off thank my family, everyone who always helped me, all my teammates, the cheerleaders, the TV studio, the band, just everyone. Thank you.
That was shorter than I thought, that's for sure. All right, last but not least, we have a sophomore who's been named All-State, and that's Jalen Delaney. Jalen established a whole bunch of new records this year, receiving-wise. 14 catches against Central, a new single-game record. 63 receptions this year, a new season record. He's only the 6th sophomore ever to be named All-State at Mount Carmel area. And the thing I like best about him is the way he plays point guard. So sorry, Jalen, but I do. He's just a smooth operator. He's very unselfish and doesn't get way up or get way down. And I really like the way that he does that. But Jalen, you have a great opportunity here going forward. Congratulations for your outstanding effort and selection. First team Pennsylvania Football News coach sports writers and second team Pennsylvania Football News coaches select as a wide receiver February 2nd, 2024, Jalen Delaney. You got your own fan club. Congratulations, man. Thank you.
I'd like to start off by saying thank you to the Lions Club for hosting this banquet. Also, a big thank you to my family for supporting me no matter the circumstances. I'd also like to thank Tom Swaldy and Star Physical Therapy for keeping me in great condition throughout the season. Thank you to Coach Clea for training me throughout the season and in the offseason. Thank you to Jose for all that he does for the program. And finally, thank you to Coach Dara and the whole coaching staff for giving me the opportunity to perform on the field every week. And thank you to my teammates who push me harder every day to make me a better teammate and athlete. Thank you.
Okay, now we can get into the meat of it. John Dara, come on up and start the awards.
All right, we're going to start with 2 senior game balls we're going to present here. The first one goes to Aiden Dietz. Aiden's a guy I'm very proud of and showed a lot of grit during his career. Not the biggest guy in the world, but always did absolutely whatever he could for the team. I thought he did a great job making the most of his opportunities in his career and definitely this season. But again, another guy who fought through a lot. Early in the season was injured. At that point, he could have quit. But he continued to battle and finished his career here. And even though he was injured, just got surgery a day or two ago, and he didn't have the largest role on a team, he came to practice every day, worked as hard as he could on our team to prepare us for each Friday. And I just want to say, Aiden, thank you so much for everything you did and your efforts, and best of luck in your future endeavors. Aiden Dietz.
I'd like to thank my teammates, my family, and my coaches, and that's it.
Our next senior, Landon Adams. So Landon is a guy who just loves Mount Carmel area football. I remember a couple of years ago, he approached me in the weight room. Didn't really know him that well. Just saw him around school, before that, but said he wanted to come out for football in his junior year. Really enjoyed having him on the team. I think he enjoyed being a member of this team, and he was always there to motivate his teammates during the week or at the games or practices. And he still is the only guy I know that has the remarkable talent of knowing every MCA score since 2019. So, Landon, it was great having you on the team. Good luck in the future. Landon.
Just want to start off by thanking the Lions Club for putting this all together. I thank my family, coaches, and teammates for always pushing me to be the best player and person I could be. Thank God for putting me in a position that I am today. None of this is possible without him, so thank you.
The next award is the Len Eschmont Memorial Award, sponsored by the Atlas Legion. This award is also given out by the San Francisco 49ers. Len Eschmont was a great player that came through. Is it the Township, Jose? Do I have that right? Long time ago. Went on and played in the NFL and had a great career, and they still give out the MVP is named after him. So this is a very prestigious award. This year's award winner is Luke Blessing, and I know I mentioned Luke during my speech earlier, that I was very proud of how you fought back. And one other thing I'll just add here, Luke, I know he was disappointed, but I can honestly say the thing that I admired the most about it was he really never complained that much after that first couple weeks. He came to practice, he was joking around, he was having a good time, and he supported his teammates trying to get better. So very deserving big-time award for Luke Blessing. Luke.
I'm gonna put this in here. I guess not. Thank you. First off, I want to start off by thanking God, our Lord and Savior, for putting me where I'm at today and blessing me with all my talents. As we all know, this year didn't go as planned for me, and it was a very tough journey the whole way. But I believe that it was all part of God's plan, and there are many more chances and opportunities ahead of me. I next want to thank the most important people in my life, my family, but especially my mom, dad, grandma, Pap. They were my biggest fans and supporters throughout my football career, and there wasn't one game they missed over those years, and I'm truly blessed to have them with me every day. I also want to thank my younger brother, Josh, for helping me become a better player all off-season. Whenever I wanted to go to the gym, to go lift, or go to the track and run, he was always right there with me, to go with me and push me to be better. I'm just thankful to be able to play my last 2 years of football with him. Next, I want to thank my teammates for making the last 4 years unforgettable, but especially I want to thank the seniors. I've been playing football with most of you guys since as long as I can remember, and all of you have become some of my closest and best friends. Unfortunately, we're all going separate ways, with most of us playing college football at all different universities. But I know our friendship will last a lifetime. Next, I want to thank my coaches for helping me become the player I am today and making my years as a Tornado amazing. But especially Coach Dara for being a role model for me and putting all of his trust in me. Not too many coaches would give a young sophomore coming off an ACL surgery with little to no varsity experience the opportunity that Coach Dara gave me, and I thank him every day for it. Next, I want to thank all the fans and the people that have supported us through the years, packing out all of our games and making Mount Carmel games amazing. I want to thank Coach Niglio and our amazing cheerleaders for cheering us on at every game, Mr. Sakaitis in our TV studio for putting together all the videos and highlight reels, making us look good. I want to thank our band for making noise at every game and just being amazing. I want to thank Jose for all he does for us and the program. And importantly, I want to thank our trainer, Tom Swaldy, and his staff up at Star. Without them, I wouldn't have been able to play football with all my little injuries I have over the year, but especially this year when I got injured in week 1. I thought my football career was done, and thought there was no chance I would be able to play again with my injury and out of my position. But somehow Tom got me back, and I was able to finish out my senior year, and now I have the opportunity to continue my football career in college. And lastly, I want to thank Mount Carmel area football for the best 4 years of my life. I wouldn't have wanted it to be anywhere else but here. Go Big Red.
So the first award I'm going to be handing out is the unsung hero for the defensive line. Coach Tarantelli will have the offensive portion of it. This guy, from his sophomore year, started off as an outside linebacker. This senior class Coach Dara mentioned has been a pretty big one and is extremely pivotal in a lot of games we won their sophomore year. This guy had an interception in that game as a sophomore. Then his junior year started off at inside linebacker, and he's the kind of guy that was always willing to put the team first. If we ended up having to try out somebody else at the position, we moved them bouncing around to this year actually being more of an outside back to an outside backer, but more so a D-end kind of body. And really after, it happened during the Mifflinburg game, we ended up playing more of a heavier front up on the defensive line, and we stuck with it majority of the year afterwards, and it's a big part due to him. And then, if we had a game where we needed to be a little bit more defensive back-minded, he was completely understanding of it, knew we were trying to do everything we can just to win the game, and that's all he ever did. He did an excellent job this year as a captain for us, and just did all the dirty work, specifically, in the Southern game. His job wasn't the most fun defensively. We just told him, beat up the tight end. Doesn't matter if you get double teamed, doesn't matter. That's your job, and he did it. Big part of the reason why, we held him to 6 points that night. So I'm extremely thankful to have known him for all these years. It's sad to see him going, but I get to see him every day in class, which is nice. So the Matucci Chefs Award Defensive Lineman Unsung Hero this year is Al Bailey.
First, I'd just like to thank my parents. They really turned me into the man I am today. Next, I'd like to thank my teammates. You guys have made these last 4 years very enjoyable. I'd like to thank the coaches for really giving us an opportunity to play football. I'd like to thank the Lions for giving us an opportunity to be here. The cheerleaders for cheering us on every Friday night, and the band. Yeah.
And for the other side, the Matucci Chefs Award for the offensive lineman, unsung hero. This guy seems to be every year as, he's like the Swiss Army knife of the offensive line. We sit in at meetings and we're like, well, if someone goes down, who's next? It's this guy. Well, if this guy goes down, who's next? Well, we can just throw him over there. And, at the end of the year, he ends up knowing, has to know, or somehow plays almost every position on the offensive as well as the defensive line. But not only that, he comes to practice the off season, during the season, works his tail off every day, comes with a great attitude, and faces adversity in the best way. This year had a hand injury, comes back a couple of weeks later, and we throw him in a game, and we're just like, hey, we know you're not conditioned at all, but try your best, and that he did, But again, he comes, he works hard. He's a great kid. And he's also a great leader, and I'm looking forward to see what he puts together for us next season. So the Matucci Chefs Award Unsung Hero for the offensive line is Logan Herb. There you go. Hey, don't forget that.
I won't forget it. First, I would like to thank Lions Club for hosting this every year for the past 106 years. I would like to thank my family, especially my dad and my mom, for supporting me the last 17 years. I'd like to thank my teammates for pushing me every day in the weight room, even on the field. I'd like to thank the cheerleaders every Friday night, cheering us on. I'd like to thank the coaches for always believing in me. Thank you.
So this is my first time presenting this award, and I always enjoy reading about and learning about the history of Mount Carmel. Just reading a little blurb on the back of the Lions one about Coach Rano. There's stuff on there, and I've been coaching with him now, I think for 8 years. Stuff on there I didn't know about, and then I got to learn a little bit here about Bob Pizzoli. So this is the Bob Pizzoli Team Player Award. So just a little bit of background on him. He was an all-around athlete coming from those historic teams of the 60s. He was an elusive runner, and I say runner because he was actually a receiver, but once he got the ball in his hands, that was when he did all of his damage. So as a receiver, at that point in time, setting records as a receiver, and he was also well known as a punt returner and a kick returner. Unfortunately, in 1970, while he was at Delaware Valley, he passed away from cancer. And another fact about the Pizzoli Award, it's the second oldest award given, only behind the Mike Terry Award, and I want to thank Jose for that information there. So this year's recipient is Michael Kimsel, and he best showcased all of what he can do whenever he got the ball. He was a running back for us this year at times. Him and Cooper really did an awesome job this year, stepping up after Luke went down, and those two were just a great 1-2 punch. I think the big game for Kimsel this year was that Mifflinburg game. I don't know exactly how many yards he had off the top of my head. I know it was over. I'm pretty sure it was over 100, if I remember correctly.
Altogether, close to 2.
Almost over 2, so 200 yards altogether. And the big play that I think of is his kick return for a touchdown. And I remember just watching that happen, and he just flying down the sideline. Coach Gilbert could attest to it better than I could, but I feel like it was like exactly what you want in terms of a kick return. He had a lane, and then there wasn't anyone on the field catching him that night. I didn't know Kimsel was that fast, and found it out pretty quick then watching that. But when I think of Kimsel, I think of him as a safety, where he's been a starter for us for 2 years now. And he really is just like an anchor on the defensive end, where he's not the biggest guy in the world, but he's definitely one of the hardest hitters on the team. He can cover anyone that we need him to, whether it's man, zone. And then this year also was able to be utilized as a blitzer as well, blitzing him through not just off the edge, but there's a couple times he actually went through the inside of the line right by the center in the A-gap. And he's just a very versatile player that thankfully we get to have back next year, and he gets to be one of those leaders on the defense next year. So this year's Bob Pizzoli Award winner is Michael Kimsel.
I'd like to thank the Lions Club for being here today, and I'd like to thank all my coaches and all the players on the team for pushing me. And yeah, thank you.
So next is the Ed Romance Most Improved Award. Again, a little bit of a background here on Ed Romance. He went to Branch Township High School and then began announcing games for Cass Township before, getting into a career with the Philadelphia Eagles. And then he decided he wanted to start his own radio station in Mount Carmel back in 1969, just because he was just a big fan of the teams, the 60 teams that, Pizzoli that was on, and then also just because of Coach Diminick. He actually named his station WMIM after his wife, Mary. And the real reason I think most of us may know of Ed Romance is because of him creating the Ed Romance chapter of the PA Sports Hall of Fame. And then the Ed Romance Award, which came in 1975, is given to the player who's shown the biggest jump from the previous year. And this year it is Jalen Delaney. As a freshman, Jalen's year wasn't typical in that he had to miss a couple games due to an injury. But he made his presence known week 1 against North Schuylkill. And then, once he was able to battle back, he had, I think, 2 interceptions then that year against Southern as well. and really had a good freshman year despite not being able to fully participate in it. And then I think we all know the accolades he had from this sophomore year. Obviously being named the All-State only as a sophomore, setting receiving records, whether it's catches in a game, catches in a season. He had 6 touchdown receptions, but also as a runner as well. So he had 214 yards on the ground, 5 touchdowns, and then he also had 2 interceptions again this year. And my favorite one was the Week 1 pick 6 against North Schuylkill, and I think that play really just showcased how athletic Jalen is. And what I think is the best part about him is, for as good as a football player is, he's a really good person and extremely good in the classroom. He really works his butt off in there and does a great job there. And we have him for 2 more years, which I know other teams don't want to hear, but I think we're all happy to hear that. So this year's most improved player is Jalen Delaney.
I have nothing else to say, but thank you.
Next, we're going to do the Supper Club Award, which is the Outstanding Defensive Player Award. Another player who was up here already, but just has been an absolute animal on the defensive side of the ball for us for the past 2 years. Played a couple different spots, had an outstanding, really unprecedented freshman season with his number of tackles. This year, moved him around to a couple different positions, but halfway through the year found a home at nose guard and just definitely made his presence known. Wasn't a guy, weren't sure how he was going to feel about that, if he was going to complain, but just went to work and week after week just made massive plays for us on a defensive end. Another guy here that's only a sophomore, so very excited to have him around for the next few years, Max Korecki.
Thank you, Coach Dara. I'm about to switch to nose guard. Coach Marlowe came up to me the Southern week and said, hey, Southern's got a freshman at center. We're thinking about moving to nose guard for the game. And I was like, I'll play there. I haven't played nose guard since I was about 11 years old, but I'll give it a shot. And, he said to me before and after the game, this game's going to be yours. You're going to get moved here. Don't complain about it. Just stick it out. And it was probably the best game of my life, and that's really it. So it was just a fun year playing at nose guard, and I'm looking forward to even playing it for the next 2 years of my career. Thank you.
Next award is the Dr. Joseph Greco Award. He was team physician for many years. Went to school with Lenny Eschmont. He was the end, and Lenny Eschmont was the halfback. Lenny went to Fordham, was it, Jose? Yeah. And then my dad went to Susquehanna, and both were All-Americans.
To Villanova first.
Villanova, my dad went to Villanova first until he injured his knee. Well, my dad was team physician for a long time, and I've been on the sidelines. I was born in 1950, so I've been on the sidelines since like 1958 on, and I saw every Mount Carmel team and every Mount Carmel coach and every Mount Carmel play and a lot of Mount Carmel injuries. And this is dedicated to my dad, who wants to get the scholar athlete who actually is smart and uses his head, all right? Not only on the field, but off the field. And Matt Belichick, come on up. I teach Sunday school, and the first time I met these kids, I still can't tell them apart. They would talk and talk and talk. The only time I get them to stop talking is when I stuffed. They had 5 mushrooms, not mushrooms, but marshmallows in their mouth, and they had to pray. But anyway, he was first team, 5th in his class, and my dad would just be very honored to give this award to you, Matt.
Thank you. I have nothing else to say. Thank you. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. I'll be giving out the Tony Mozella Award, which is given out to a member of the team who has made a significant impact on our special teams units this year. This award has been given out since 1992, and it's named after Tony Mozella, who was a multi-sport athlete here at Mount Carmel, and he also went on to be a longtime athletic trainer here for Mount Carmel. This season, we had a very good year on special teams and had a lot of contributors on just about every special teams unit. Until today, I actually didn't realize that we had the total yardage between punt return and kick return yardage that we set a new record for. And our units were just very good all around. So that led to a lot of valid candidates for this award. This year's recipient played arguably the hardest position on any special teams unit. And although he was still semi-new to the position, most people wouldn't be able to tell that. This player began his career for us by playing a couple different positions as an underclassman, as a freshman and sophomore, still trying to kind of figure out what role he had for us at the varsity level. During the summer in between his sophomore and junior seasons, we had a vacancy at the kicking position that needed to be filled. He told both myself and our kicking coach, Bill Juraski, that he wanted to give it a try. I can't really take a lot of his credit for his success because that summer, he really worked his tail off with our kicking coach, Bill Juraski, and ultimately earned his position as our extra point kicker and field goal kicker. This season, he was reliable as could be as an extra point kicker and field goal kicker. He finished the year 43 out of 48 for extra points and was also 3 for 3 in field goal attempts. I think it was mentioned earlier today that his field goal against Mifflinburg obviously gave us a big win early on in the season, in a really close game, and his extra point against Southern actually proved to be a pivotal moment in that game as well. Next year, he's going to be kicking at Wilkes University, and I know that if he continues to work hard like he did in high school, he'll be successful next year as well. This year's winner is Bobby Shoppy.
He left, he said.
His dad
He
was
left.
off, though.
All right.
Thank you very much. Bobby went home sick.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
The Star Fitness Comeback Player of the Year Award is chosen by Tom Swaldy and is awarded to a player who has come back from a serious injury to perform at a high level on the football field. On behalf of the football team and all Mount Carmel athletics, I want to publicly thank Tom for the tremendous care and healing he provides to our student athletes each and every sports season. He dedicates an insane amount of time to ensure these athletes are healthy and able to compete at the highest level, and we couldn't be more grateful for his service. Unfortunately, Tom cannot be here today, so in his absence, I'll be presenting the Comeback Player of the Year. Not many people have the physical and mental toughness to battle back from a serious injury like a torn ACL. It's a cruel hand to be dealt to any young athlete, and to come back from an ACL tear even once in your athletic career is an incredible achievement. Luke Blessing suffered a torn ACL not once, but twice in a 3-year span. For those who may not remember, Luke tore his ACL his freshman year. He came back to have a standout sophomore season, leading us in rushing and leading us to our first victory against Southern Columbia in many years in an unforgettable 3-touchdown performance. That season, he was deservingly awarded Comeback Player of the Year for his efforts. He then followed with a standout junior year in which he earned all-state honors. Entering his senior year, his teammates voted him captain in practically unanimous fashion, and having compiled impressive career rushing and scoring stats, he was poised to further ascend the record books in many offensive categories, all while leading our team to what we had hoped would be a championship run. And then, in the first game of the season, the unthinkable happened, and Luke retore his surgically reconstructed ACL. It was a heartbreaking injury and a gut punch to everyone, his teammates, coaches, his family. Everyone felt it. And Rob mentioned this earlier, but in true testament to his character, Luke showed not a shred of resentment for the misfortune. He handled the injury with maturity, optimism, and grace in a way that was so uplifting to his teammates. As a captain, the leadership never wavered, nor did his desire to get back on the field. Playing on a torn ACL is challenging in any sport, but to play on one in football, as a running back no less, is nearly impossible. But Luke did it. He defied the odds, and after hundreds of hours at Star Fitness and a wave of Tom Smalley's magic wand, he was back practicing within weeks, and in improbable fashion, he finished the season and his career on the field with his teammates, living out his dream of carrying the ball for the Red Tornadoes. In full disclosure, Luke is my cousin, and I'm also his godfather. And in that role, I had hoped that somewhere along the way, I might provide him some inspiration. But it's funny how life works. Because in watching his journey this past season, and seeing the toughness, the perseverance, the courage, and more than anything, the heart he showed in fighting his way back through this unfortunate injury, it was Luke who inspired me and so many others. I couldn't be more proud of him. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my honor to bring up the winner of this year's award, the only two-time Star Fitness Comeback Player of the Year in Mount Carmel Banquet history, captain of the team, All-State running back, and Mount Carmel great, Luke Blessing.
Thank you. I mean, I kind of already said what I had to before, but I just want to thank you, my Coach Higgins, for the kind words. And as he said, yeah, he is my cousin and he's my godfather. And I know like a lot of my friends know, but I've been looking up to him ever since I started playing football. I used to watch old varsity games of him playing, and like Coach Randall said in his speech, he had the game-winning touchdown his senior year at quarterback in the state championship. I mean, that's every young kid's dream, playing football, to win the state championship. He dove in the end zone. I mean, that's pretty unforgettable, and I know I remember that forever. And like I said, I've just been looking up to him, and I always wanted to achieve what he did. Thank you.
All right, I'm going to give the Tornado Pride Award. This goes to the offensive player and defensive player who best identifies the spirit of the Red Tornado football program. This player had a great career at MCA, but it's not what he did on the field, it's what he did off the field. As you can see next to me, I have Liam with me. This kid looked up to this player very well. Before a game, before practice, he had a conversation with him, talk to him, throw a football around. Every Friday night, you can check on Liam's sheet, there was number 7 there. As you can see, they were buddies. You look on the bench after the game, they were sitting on the bench together, his arm around him, and he looked up to him. I think a lot of kids looked up to this player, and will continue to look up to him. I'm proud I got to coach him the last couple years. This year's winner of Offensive Tornado Pride winner is...
This year's Tornado Pride Award goes to Tams.
Thank you, Lynn. Oh, hold on. That got me a little upset. First, I'd like to thank my family for everything they do for me. Next, I would like to thank my coaches and teammates for always being there for me and pushing me to my best. Next, I would like to thank the fans and the cheerleaders for always supporting us on Friday nights. Next, I also want to thank the TV studio for everything they do for us. I also want to thank the Lions Club and Brady Fire Company for hosting this every year. And one final thanks I want to send to Liam. He's like the younger brother I have always wanted. He was always there for me every Friday night, just our handshakes. Every time I scored a touchdown, first person I would see is him sitting there cheering for me. I'm going to miss that. But you'll always be on my mind, Liam. Thank you. Thank you, guys.
All right, now for the defensive player. This player also embraces Tornado Pride. It's not what he did on the field, but also what he did off the field and help his teammates. This player has always been on the scout team, either offense, defense, pushing his teammates out to be the best they can. He also, every time someone got a tackle, touchdown, whatever, he's always there cheering them on no matter what. This year's Tornado Pride Defensive Player Award goes to Andrew Lukuski.
I would just like to thank the Supper Club, Lions Club, and all the fans out here. The last 4 years were great, and thank you teammates and cheerleaders. That's it.
So I'll be presenting the Joe Gray Award. This award goes to an offensive lineman. This year's recipient is Noah Shimko. To put into words what Noah has done for Mount Carmel in his 4 years would be a tall task, or you could say a Noah Shimko task. No. A 4-year starter, 3-time All-State, and a truly incredible career. But more than that, Noah is just a class act kid and incredible leader. Always working his teammates at practice and keeping them motivated. One goal that we set as a team is to preserve and advance the tradition of Mount Carmel football. And Noah, you have most certainly done that. So on behalf of Mount Carmel, we thank you. It's been an honor to play with you and now coach you. Without further ado, Noah Shimko.
There are two people that I would like to thank. One is my speed trainer, Tom Hughes. He was a big impact in my life as soon as I started going there, helping me get faster, helping me get looks for college. And the other is Coach Juraski. He's always been there since my freshman year. He's always been pushing me, telling me the right things to do, and he's made a huge impact in my life. And lastly, I know he's not here, but Coach Veach, I hope you're watching. Go Birds.
Go Birds!
All right, and I'll be presenting the Lions Club Award. The Lions Club Award is awarded to the top senior linemen, both on the offensive side as well as the defensive side of the ball. I personally just want to thank the seniors. You guys make this, coaching this sport a lot of fun. And I just want to thank, the parents, because you guys raise fine young men, and it is truly a joy to be able to come here every day and be able to coach them. So thank you. So I will start with the offensive side. This year's recipient is well deserving of this award in many ways. In regards to football, he has always been a big part of our program since his freshman year. Even at that point, I'm about 6'3". And I found it weird having to coach and sometimes yell at a kid and having to talk up to him since his freshman year. But from that point, he was just a kid, but the past 3 years, he has transformed into a mature young man. He has grown physically as well as mentally throughout his entire career. He has been a massive part of our continued success over the past couple of years. Off the field, he has always represented himself and his school with class and respect. I could go on about him, but needless to say, I am proud of the young man he has transformed into. I can't wait to see how he does with his collegiate career, and I know we will always be watching from afar. With that, I'm proud and honored to give this year's Lion Club Offensive Line Award to Noah Shimko.
Yeah, that's the right one. Congratulations. I don't got much else, but one other thing I forgot is thank you to Chase, Matt, Andrew, and Ben. Every Friday morning, 4 out of the 5 of us do the ACE program, and Andrew does co-op. Every Friday we had off. We didn't really do much after church. Every Friday we went out for breakfast, before every game for a healthy meal, and just big thank you to them.
All right, now let's jump to the defensive side. On the defensive side, this award goes to a very crucial part of the defensive line for our team this year. And if you told me before the season he would receive this award for his defensive play, I would have been shocked and surprised. We had some shuffling around on the defense and the defensive line this year, and our recipient step up, took on a whole new role, and excelled greatly at it. He worked his rear end off all year, all off season, all season long, and the growth we saw was just phenomenal. His attitude to playing on both sides of the ball, as well as his attitude at practice, was stellar, and he never complained about what he had to do and how he had to do it. Not only did he end up being a massive part of our defensive success, he's been a staple for our offensive line for a big portion of his career. He's also another great example of what we want our players to be: hardworking and respectful. I'm very proud of him and hope nothing but the best in his future endeavors. And this year's recipient of the Defensive Line Lions Club Award is Jagger Delaney. Congratulations, bud.
I just want to thank my family. I want to thank all my teammates, all my coaches. I want to thank the cheerleaders and the Lions Club for hosting this. Thank you.
Thank you, John. I'm privileged to be able to come off the bench and give this award in lieu of Bob Veach, who's I guess he has something to do with the Super Bowl or something like that. So he usually has been giving this award because he was a personal friend of Glenn Bonesy Adams. But I also knew him well, and I'm very proud to be able to give this. David, are you here? Yeah, his son David Adams is here, and David, I'm equally proud of you for keeping his name alive and adding your mother to that list. And thank you for your generosity to the program in presenting this award. Bonesy, in case you guys don't know, is a 49 graduate at Mount Carmel and went on to the University of Pennsylvania after receiving over 50 offers. 50. And the University of Pennsylvania at that time was an Ohio State, Penn State kind of team at the time. That's where football was played, at UP and Fordham and teams like that. Bonesy went on to be an All-East performer, an All-Ivy performer, and an honorable mention All-American, and helped the team to be number 4 in the country in passing out of the single wing. What I remember most about Bonesy, he came to almost every Mount Carmel game. He drove up from Philadelphia, where he lived in Devon and Sugartown Mews, and I remember that because my daughter lived there as well, David. But he come up to the game, and he was impeccably dressed always, with a nice University of Pennsylvania maroon sweater on, and always said, "Jose, what do we look like? What do you think?" You know, and he was so proud to be a Tornado and to come and support the Tornadoes as well. So this award has been given for a number of years, and thank you, David, for continuing to do that. This year's recipient, Bonesy would have been very happy with, because not only did he do the job on the field, he has done it in the classroom, where he ranks in the top 20 of his class right now. He's one of only 12 athletes to ever record over 100 tackles in back-to-back seasons. His 277 tackles ranks in the top 15 all time. And this is for a kid who many would have said is undersized and shouldn't be out on a field. But he got himself out there and was willing and able to sacrifice from outside to inside linebacker, and really was a stabilizing force for our linebacking core this season. I'm sorry. So this year's Glenn Bonesy Adams Award winner is Ben Miller. Congratulations, young man.
Thank you. First off, I would like to thank God. Any success attributed to me is all because of him. Second, I would like to thank my family for always pushing me, keeping me dedicated and focused. I would like to thank my coaches and teammates for always making football a fun experience. I know sometimes with those 2 days they can get tiring, but seeing my brothers next to me is always a good time. And thank you. That's it.
I'll be presenting the Joe Baczynski Award. For those who don't know Joe, he was a record-setting quarterback at Mount Carmel in the mid-1960s, an all-stater, a big 33er. He went on to play football at the University of Miami. The criteria for the award is to the player who exemplifies the qualities of Joe Baczynski. This year's recipient is Chase Belichick. Chase had a remarkable career as a multi-year two-way starter as both a wide receiver and a defensive back. The word that comes to mind when I think of Chase is reliable. Whether he's calling out the coverages in our defensive backfield or hauling in big catches in the pass game, you always knew he could be counted on. He even excelled in our power run game as a blocking tight end, where he ultimately earned all-state honors. And while he wasn't officially named a captain, that didn't stop him from being one of the best leaders I've seen in my years of coaching at MCA. Before I present the award to Chase, I just want to take a moment to acknowledge the legacy of the Belichick twins, Matt and Chase. For those who don't know, our sensational TV studio, WKMC, airs numerous segments featuring MCA students. One of those recurring segments is called Matt and Chase Try. This is where Matt and Chase step out of their comfort zone and try to experience something new and different. Some memorable activities include wrestling, color guard, and cheerleading, to name a few. It's fun and entertaining to watch, but I really love the segment. What I really love is the name, because it so perfectly encapsulates what they do. Matt and Chase Try. If there's any two players who embody the concept of maximum effort, it's these two brothers. I say this with nothing but love and respect, but neither Matt nor Chase are naturally superior athletes. They were neither the fastest, the biggest, the strongest, nor the most athletic kids to play at MCA. But guess what? They both were named to the Pennsylvania All-State team this year, which means they're considered among the best football players in the state. How do they achieve this? Because Matt and Chase try. They try harder than anyone. And to any young athlete out there questioning if you have the skills or athleticism to make an impact on your sports team, look no further than the Belichick twins to see how far a winning attitude and full throttle effort can take you. Now here's the funny part. In a moment, one of them is going to walk up here to get this award. I'm going to shake their hands. I'm assuming it's Chase, but honestly, I have no idea. Unless they're in their uniforms, I really can't tell them apart after 4 years. It might be nice for WKMC to do an episode of Matt and Chase Try and maybe do makeovers. Maybe one of you could shave your head and the other one maybe do a face tattoo. Just a suggestion. But without any further ado, let's bring up 2024 Joe Baczynski Award winner, Chase Belichick.
Thank you, Coach Hagan, for the nice words. And I did shave my head once, and he still couldn't tell us apart. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Mike Ferlazzo. Many of you know I call the games for the Black Diamond Sports Network and also ask a few questions at Supper Club from time to time. I want to say, once again, what a joy it is to do games every Friday night. I think the games here at the Silver Bowl, that's the greatest place in the nation to call a football game, and I say that every year. It really means a lot to me, and thanks to everybody from the Mount Carmel program that make our jobs easy every Friday night as well. I'm here to present our annual Diamond in the Rough Award, and this year's recipient was truly that, since he didn't begin the season as a starter. And that really isn't surprising since he was a freshman. He entered the starting lineup week 3 at Mifflinburg, went on to lead the team in tackles that night with 13, including 3 for loss. And then he went on and led the team in tackles for the season with 124, 10 for loss with 2 sacks, 7 hurries, and 2 fumble recoveries. And then he went on to earn PHAC Division II All-Star honors. Also I saw today that he was one of the 11 top Sports Illustrated freshmen. They had a voting poll for 11 of the top freshmen in the state. He was on that poll. I know he made both the Daily Adam and Press Enterprise All-Area teams and the Eastern PA Football AAA All-Stars as well. The Black Diamond Sports Network Diamond in the Rough Award goes to freshman linebacker Jason Klokas.
I want to thank the Lions Club for having us. I want to thank my teammates, my coaches, my family for supporting me. And yeah, that's it.
There There are two underclassmen we wanted to acknowledge with Coaches Award because they were both instrumental in our offensive success this past season. The first of these young players is our quarterback, Gavin Rashalik. In his first year as a starting QB, he had a terrific season overall. His 2024 campaign saw him complete the third most passes in MCA history, and he had the sixth best ever passing yardage. But perhaps most impressive was how well Gavin took care of the ball for us, which is critical to any team's success. He only threw 4 interceptions all year out of 236 pass attempts. In doing so, he established 2 new records, one for fewest interceptions per attempt and one for consecutive passes without an interception. He threw 115 consecutive passes without an INT. That's phenomenal at any level of football. Gavin is a consummate teammate, a great role model, and as a quarterback, he's as dedicated to his craft as anyone. He puts in countless hours at quarterback clinics and camps, and I know he has big dreams of playing college football someday. I have no doubt with his ability, drive, and determination, he'll make that dream a reality. But before that, I'm looking forward to coaching him in the red and white for one more year and seeing him lead us to new heights. I know the best of Gavin is yet to come. Ladies and gentlemen, 2024 MCA Coaches Award, Gavin Rashalik.
I just want to thank everyone for coming out today. Thank you for the award, and I want to give thanks to my parents for being here. If it wasn't for them, I wouldn't have anything I do. They give me all kind of opportunities. I want to thank my teammates especially. You guys push me to get better every day, every week, weight room, no matter what. I want to thank all my coaches, Coach Dara for putting faith in me, and the cheerleaders, band, TV studio. Yeah, and that's it. Thank you.
As I mentioned earlier, losing Luke Blessing in the first half of a season opening dealt our team a devastating blow. It's not easy replacing the bruising style and productivity of an all-state running back. But Luke's injury provided an opportunity for a young running back to step up. And enter Cooper Karicki, who truly seized that opportunity. Cooper, all 155, 160 pounds of him, had a style all his own, relying on quickness, sharp cutting ability, and lightning fast sprinter speed. Cooper rushed for over 900 yards this season, including a 237-yard performance against Mifflinburg, and emerged as one of the nicest surprises and unsung offensive heroes of the season. Needless to say, we're ecstatic to have his speed in our backfield in the years to come. This MCA Coaches Award goes to Cooper Karicki.
First, I'd like to thank the Lions Club for having this every year. I'd like to thank my parents for always supporting me throughout the season. I'd like to thank my coaches and teammates for pushing me to be a better athlete every day. Thank you.
And finally, I'm going to present the Dan Ficca Tornado of the Year Award. For any of you guys watching the NFL playoffs, this is modeled after the NFL's Walter Payton Man of the Year Award and goes to a player in grades 9 through 12 who goes above and beyond in participating in community service. It is fitting that this year's award goes to the man I call the mayor, Gavin Demko. I just want to say that we're all lucky to have Gavin living here in the Mount Carmel area. He is heavily involved in the community, whether it's with the Anthracite Fire Company, our community service projects, or as a friend. Gavin is always there to help. He persevered through the roller coaster ride of his career. I just want you to hear a little bit about what this kid did for our program. His freshman year, he had several health issues, some heart issues actually, wasn't able to play his freshman year. So instead of just, hanging around or not coming to practice or quitting, he came there every day and he basically acted as an equipment manager, helped anyone, the coaches, players, with anything he possibly could, and he didn't even know if he could ever return to play. Fast forward to his junior year. At this point, he had never started a game. He got the call for his first start week 2 against Dunmore. Now, if any of you guys remember that game, Dunmore had a 270-pound 3 technique that had just transferred back from Dunmore from IMG Academy. It looked like Matt Chickatano transferred to Dunmore. They also had a 315-pound nose guard. So Gavin started at center that game, and we ended up winning that game. Later that season, he suffered a freak injury to his shoulder and had to undergo shoulder surgery. Again, could have gave up, could have said, I'm going to retire for the rest of my career. His senior year, came in for a start at week 1, actually lost his job after week 1. At that point, again, he could have quit, said that's it, but got another chance due to injury and then ended up having a great season. On a side note, he also broke his nose about a half hour before the Schmoken game and still played in the game. But we'll save that story for another time. So thank you, and I will never forget the mayor. Congratulations, Gavin.
I'd just like to thank my parents, my coaches, Tom, the Lions Club, and the Brady Fire Company. Thank you.
We will be giving out some awards today for our cheerleaders, 3 of which recipients will receive at graduation later this year, but I would like to recognize them here today. I want to take this time to thank all of our award sponsors and donors who generously donated our awards for today. It is incredible to see our girls be recognized for their hard work and to see others who want to celebrate their accomplishments. I promise I will be brief. We will start first with the award that is given out each year by the Junior Red organization. It is given to a senior cheerleader who has cheered through the Jets or Junior Red organization and then has cheered for our junior high and high school cheerleading program. This award will be given to one of our cheerleaders who has been a great asset to our program this year. She has excelled with her skills as well as tried different positions, whichever was going to be beneficial to our team. We are glad she decided to come back out this year to be part of our program. This year's recipient is Francesca Ventilli.
Hey everybody, I just wanted to say that I'm glad you guys are all here. Thank you for the Lions Club for hosting this today. Thank you for my parents for supporting me the past 18 years of my life. Thank you for the cheerleaders for always being there for me, for always motivating me, for always encouraging me to try new things. Thank you for my coach. Thank you for the football players, and yeah, that's it.
Our next award recipient will be receiving 2 awards for us today. The first is an award that is given out each year by the Colt Cougars organization. It is given to a senior cheerleader who has cheered through the Cougars organization and then has come through our junior high and high school cheerleading program. The second award is our coaches award. Both awards will be given to one of our cheerleaders who has excelled in many aspects and has gone through our program since 7th grade. She has shown just how much cheerleading means to her over the years and how willing she has been to try new positions in order to help our team succeed. She was continuously dedicated to her craft and worked hard until she reached her goals. This year's recipient of both the Coaches Award and the Colt Cougars Organization Award is Kayla Leonard.
First, I would like to thank the Lions Club for hosting this, and I would like to thank my mom and dad for all their support, and I would like to thank all my teammates and the friendships that I have made throughout the years, and yeah.
Our next award is given out by our booster organization each year to a senior cheerleader who is all in all the time. This cheerleader has been nothing but an asset to our program over the past 2 years. She is one of our top girls, easily coached, and shows a great deal of dedication and sportsmanship to this sport and to those around her. It has truly been a pleasure to watch her grow in the sport of cheerleading as she has advanced her skills tremendously and has stepped out of her comfort zone in many ways, especially this past year, both on the sidelines and competition mat. This year's recipient goes to Ava Carnuccio.
I'd like to thank the Lions Club for hosting. I'd like to thank my parents for always supporting me regardless of whatever I do in life. I'd like to thank Coach Niglio for pushing me to heights that I never knew I could reach. If you told me a year ago that I'd be flying for the MCA cheerleaders, I would have said you're crazy. And then finally, I'd like to thank my incredibly talented teammates. We've achieved so much this year, and I am unbelievably thankful for all of you. Thank you.
Our next award is our Sportsmanship Award. It is given to a cheerleader who displays great sportsmanship both on and off the playing field. This senior has done a wonderful job in showcasing sportsmanship not only to her own teammates, but to other teams and coaches. It was a constant this year of how important she made her teammates feel and was a true team player for us since she began cheering for MCA in 7th grade. It was apparent that she was proud to wear the MCA uniform and surely represented our program greatly over the years. This recipient of this year's Sportsmanship Award is Emily Morris.
I'd just like to thank the Lions Club for hosting this, my family for being so supportive, my teammates for being the most amazing senior year, and a huge thank you to my coaches, 'cause I wouldn't be the person I am without them. Thank you.
Our next award is our Dedication Award. This award recipient has shown this trait time and time again over the years that she has been part of our program. She is one to constantly show up for herself, her teammates, her coaches, doing anything that we ask of her. She has been a great voice for us on the sidelines and on the competition mat, and is always willing to do whatever is needed for her team. You can find her constantly motivating the next one in line, always with a smile on her face. At one of our last practices we had this season, we were trying a new part of our pyramid to try and increase our difficulty at states. That specific part of the pyramid was not hitting as well as we needed it to at practices, and I was close to making the decision to go back to the old one just to play it safe. Practice was about to be over as we were close to 9 o'clock. Yes, we practice 7 to 9 p.m., and if you ask the girls, it's our prime time. But this girl came up to me and asked if we can run a full out of the routine just one more time with a new pyramid. It is not every day that you will find a group of girls who are willing to go one more time to reach their goals. I'm not sure if that would have happened if it had not been for her pushing her team. She showed her true dedication, and our team showed discipline that night. This recipient of the award this year is Mia Hollenbush.
First, I'd like to thank my parents and the Lions Club for hosting this. And I would not want to cheer with anyone else but this team. And thanks.
Our next award is our Outstanding Underclassmen Award, which will be given out to a junior member of our team this year. This girl has excelled greatly within our program since she began cheering in 7th grade. She truly has the full package when it comes to the sport of cheerleading with her stunting skills, tumbling skills, jumps, motions, and if I really needed her to, she could probably be a top girl. She tells me I yelled at her when she was in 7th grade, and that was the end of her flying days, but I still can't seem to remember that. Above all of us, she is always willing to go the extra mile for us and is constantly giving us a good laugh. She works hard at her goals and is extremely worthy of this award, as I don't think there was ever a time when I asked her to try something new that she ever told me she couldn't do it. She has been on our competition team since she was a freshman, stepping in as an alternate that year and truly never looking back. This year's recipient is Mallory Forty.
Hello. I would like to thank the Lions Club for hosting this, my coach, obviously, for pushing me to be my best, my parents, my brother for always supporting me, and my cheer team for being like sisters to me. And thank you.
Our next award is our Resilience Award, which will be given out to a member of our cheerleading team who has shown just how far an athlete can come from individual setbacks and overcome challenges through perseverance. Last season during sideline cheerleading, she had a setback after setback where we did not know what the next steps were for her at that moment. Even with those setbacks, she still made every practice, every game that she was allowed to come to, and still experienced many opportunities with us. Working through injuries, she was able to be back on the competition mat for that season and truly showed how much stronger she bounced back into this sport. She has made waves with her stunt technique, especially this past year, and has always shown a great deal of determination to this sport. This year's recipient is junior Neve Catalinas.
Who is my mom going to be mad at me? I told her I wasn't going to get anything because I was under the impression this is only seniors. But I'd like to thank my coach because without her, I wouldn't have learned anything. I joined late and I didn't think that I was ever going to be able to have this opportunity to make it here where I am. But without my teammates who have pushed me and have taught me things, I would not be here at all. I want to thank the football players for going out and performing every night and giving us the opportunity to continue to cheer, and the Lions Club for putting this on. I'd like to thank the TV studio who come and they film everything and they just don't get the recognition that they deserve. Wow, this is terrifying. I do this for musical and this is way scarier. But thank you to everyone who has supported me throughout everything that I've done. Thank you.
Our next award is a new award this year that is the Marie Andrino Spirit Award in memory of Marie Andriano. I don't know if I'm saying that correctly, but Marie was a cheerleader for Mount Carmel area in the 1950s and had a love for the sport and our community. Her family wanted to recognize and honor her love for being a cheerleader. After meeting with her son, David Adams, who is here today on this award, he explained how happy and proud his mother was to wear the MCA uniform and how she helped others be interested in cheerleading. Marie later went on to graduate from nursing school at Penn University in 1952. This award had a very specific description to it, and it was apparent that this cheerleader fit the description perfectly. From the moment she stepped foot into our program, she was proud to be doing something she loved, always willing to do whatever we asked of her and constantly showing just how much cheerleading meant to her. This year's recipient is junior Sarah Williams.
I would just like to thank the Lions Club first off for having this amazing ceremony. I would like to thank my family and my parents and my brother for being my biggest supporters, and my teammates for pushing me and making the best friends I never thought I would have. I would like to thank the TV studio for always doing everything they can to capture the moments that we have on the sidelines together, and the football players for giving something for us, for something to cheer for, and especially my coach because she is my biggest inspiration. So thank you.
Our next award is our Unsung Hero Award. This award is given out to a senior member of the cheerleading team who is in a position where they might not always be seen for what they do, but without them, the performance would simply not happen. Just like in football where the linemen needed to do their job in order for the quarterback to do his, in cheerleading, a base or a back spot needs to do their job in order for the flyer to be able to do hers. This senior has been part of our program for the past 6 years. She has made waves in her stunting technique and has also excelled in other aspects within her time as an MCA cheerleader. She was constantly eager to try new things and worked hard until she accomplished them. She has been a constant reminder to her teammates that hard work and dedication in this sport truly pays off. She made it easy for girls to come to her if they needed help, and she was always willing to take girls under her wing to support them and teach them whatever it was, new grips, new stunt, or simply a cheer. This year's recipient of the Unsung Hero Award is senior Jessa Robert.
I'd like to thank everyone for coming out today. I'd also like to thank my parents, they're my biggest supporters here. Since the football players thank us, I'd like to thank them. They might not seem like they come to our things, but they really do. We were at States on Thursday and Friday, and Mr. Cheddar had a student bus, and I saw a lot of kids there, supporting us and, just being there for us like we're there for them. So that's really appreciated. And thanks, Coach.
Our next award is our Outstanding Leadership Award. This senior has been a natural leader on our team this past year. She truly showed the love that she had for this sport and was constantly motivating others around her, always making the most of her time as an MCA cheerleader. She tried out for our program in the spring of her freshman year and made the JV team as a sophomore. While others in her situation walked away from the sport, she stayed and worked hard. She's a true example of what it means to trust the process, step out of your comfort zone, and make the most of the opportunities that are presented to you. I cannot tell you how much it speaks of selflessness and resilience to an individual her age, and we are truly glad she stayed out and didn't look back. She has grown so much over the last 3 years, and it has paid to see that smile on her face. This year's recipient is Abby Clokus.
Is it this? The first people who I'd like to thank are my teammates. Thank you for making my senior year unforgettable. Thank you to my coaches for always pushing me to be the best version of myself, not only in cheer but in life. And thank you to my family for always supporting me in everything I do. Thank you.
And our final award is our Overall Cheerleader Award. This will be given to a senior member of our team who has overall been such a great asset to our cheerleading program over the years. She always shows a positive attitude, and her energy and love for our cheerleading program has been a constant every single year that she wore the MCA uniform. What I think always stood out the most was her presence on the mat and her ability to always show her teammates how to do things correctly. It truly showed just how much she was proud to be a part of something special. This year's Overall Cheerleader Award is Senior Alexa Maher.
Hi, I'd like to start by thanking the Lions Club and everyone who helped put together this banquet. I'd also like to thank Coach Dara and the football team, Mr. Stellar and the Big Red Band, and Mr. Sakais in the TV studio for making this season one to remember. I am beyond grateful that I got to be a part of MCA Cheer and that I got to use my God-given talents to benefit this team. I will carry with me the memories and these traditions and these friendships that I've created with me forever. The support of my coaches, my parents, my gram, my sister has never been unnoticed. They are my biggest cheerleaders, and I'm so proud to say that I was an MCA cheerleader, and I will truly miss it. Thank you.
All right, before I turn it back over to Jose to conclude the program, I'm just going to do a little send-off. Before the send-off, I do just want to take a second. I forgot to thank Alyssa Trefsker, who's here, who filmed all our practice this year. So, Alyssa, thank you for all your time. And for our 2024 team, our seniors, congratulations on a great season. I just want to say I'm really, really proud of you guys. You were a resilient group. You were dealt some tough cards early in the season, but you fought through it. Obviously, the season didn't end the way we hoped, but you were a very, very good team and a tough team. And I just want to take a minute to reflect on your careers. If my calculations are correct, and being that most of you guys came up to the team as freshmen, you played in 50 games. 50 games here for this school district, this community. That's a lot of games for a big senior class. And just made some huge, huge contributions over your career to the program. If you think back to the 2021 season, which would have been your freshman year, we were the district runners-up that year in AA, but we beat every District 4 team, including the District 4 AAA champion in Danville. and it was a member of this senior class that caught a big fake field goal in that game, right, to lead us to victory. 2022, we were 10-0, but week 1, a lot of members of our senior class cramped up that game, and I remember several members of this class making huge plays to lead us to victory in that North Schuylkill game, and also the victory. It was the first time we beat Southern that year in a while. You guys were instrumental in that as well. 2023 obviously lost a lot, came back and had another solid 8-2 campaign in the regular season, and again, huge contributions from you guys, and definitely a very memorable Week 8 win there at the Silver Bowl. So you guys have had great careers, made huge contributions to the program, and obviously just want to let you guys know I'll never forget about that. I care deeply about you guys. You are truly great kids. I really enjoyed coaching you, and if there's ever anything I can do to help you, please just let me know. Before you leave, we do have your jerseys, your red jerseys, and a picture here for you guys to take. So thank you, 2024 senior class. '25, the rest of you guys here, this is now your team. You have an opportunity to write the next chapter. It is your job now to uphold and advance the tradition of Mount Carmel area football. The program is in your hands. Thank you.
Thank you, John. I'll be brief. I'd like to extend my congratulations to the senior class as well, and a good luck to the junior class and underclassmen. We have another step to go, and I think you guys are more than capable of handling it. Looking forward to next year as always. Thank you, everybody, for coming. I appreciate your patience in getting this all done and having our kids honored in the way they deserve. I did forget the TV studio early, but for the kids remembered that. Steve, Hannah, Alyssa, thank you very much for putting your time out here today and doing this. Father Mike was sick. He's more upset than anybody that he couldn't be here, but he did send along the benediction, and I will read it now. Heavenly Father, as these ceremonies come to a close, please accept our gratitude and thanks for the gifts and blessings you have so abundantly showered upon us. We are grateful for the opportunity to recognize and honor these young people. We are thankful for all who organized and planned this awards banquet. We pray for your continued presence in our lives. Be a guide to us as we navigate the ups and downs of life. Lead us to grow ever closer to you. Inspire our words and deeds to be positive and affirming. Keep us safe from all harm. Help us to not just survive, but to thrive. We all ask this in your gracious and glorious name. Amen. Once again, thank you. I want to do pictures. So all award winners over here with Coach Dara, Coach Ferrano. Girls, please stick around with Coach Niglio. Thank you. Have a safe trip home.